The market is in near constant motion. With every single tick up or down, it feels like there's an opportunity, right? But that's the trap. A trader who confuses all that activity with actual progress is going to find a million reasons to make a move. And the market, well, it has a way of very patiently, very methodically punishing that impulse. And this really gets to the fundamental truth of what we're up against. The market is just more patient than you will ever be. It can wait forever, and I mean forever, for the perfect moment to take your money. So the real question is, can you wait for the perfect moment to make it? But here's the good news. We can totally flip that dynamic on its head. Today, we're going to talk about building a new skill, and it might just be the most powerful one in all of trading, the discipline of doing absolutely nothing. So, where does this constant urge to do something even come from? Well, to get it, we need to understand a really powerful psychological idea called the goalkeeper's dilemma. It perfectly explains why we have this impulse to always be taking action. This impulse actually has a name. It's called action bias. And look, this isn't some personal flaw you have. It's a deeply human thing. Our brains are basically wired with a shortcut that makes us want to take action, even when sitting on our hands is clearly the smarter move. To really see this in action, let's just look at goalkeepers during a penalty kick. The choice seems obvious, doesn't it? Dive. Of course you dive. It looks like you're trying. It feels productive. Standing still in the center? That feels passive, like you've already given up. But here's the problem. That feeling is a complete illusion. The goalie dives because they can't handle the thought of just standing there, looking like they did nothing as the ball flies past them. Sound familiar? That is the exact same emotional trigger that makes a trader jump into a terrible trade just because the chart is moving. And the data here is just undeniable. Goalkeepers who stay in the center have a way higher success rate at stopping the ball. But they almost always dive anyway. They're driven by the feeling that they need to do something. And that's exactly what happens when traders dive on every candle. You're not trading your setup anymore. You're trading your emotions, because waiting just feels like losing. So we have to reframe this completely. Inaction is not failure. It's not passive. Inaction is a deliberate, strategic position. And honestly, on most days, sitting in cash is the single most profitable position you can take. So, we figured out the psychological bias. Now let's talk about what's fueling it. That desire, that constant, nagging need for the next trade, is without a doubt the worst market analyst you could possibly have on your team. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote this thousands of years ago, and it is so much more than just nice advice on being grateful. It's a direct warning against having a compulsive, grasping mind. In trading, a mind that's always reaching for the next win, the next big thing, literally can't see the market that's sitting right in front of it. And in trading, this is everything. A trader who's always grasping, who's terrified of missing out, isn't actually seeing the chart. They're seeing the trade they wish was there. You're not analyzing the market, you're just projecting your own desires onto raw data. So, what's the alternative? Well, there's a Japanese concept for it called mushin. It means a mind without clutter. A mind that isn't excited, isn't bored, and isn't grasping for a trade. It's just clear, present, receptive. This is the mindset of a professional. The setup either shows up or it doesn't, and you're perfectly okay with either outcome. Okay, so how do we actually build this discipline? This isn't about just gritting your teeth and having more willpower. Patience in trading isn't some virtue you're born with. It's a skill you build. And just like any other skill, it needs a process, a kind of architecture for waiting. Here it is, a simple 3-step process. First, you have to define your setups with brutal specificity. Make your entry criteria so tight that on most days, nothing qualifies. This makes doing nothing your default setting. Second, you have to track your planned trades and your impulse trades in separate columns. Be ruthlessly honest. And third, and this is probably the most important, you have to completely redefine what a good day even means. Let's really focus on that second step for a minute. After you track this stuff for 90 days, your performance review is probably going to look a lot like this. The trades you planned out will be profitable, and the trades you jumped into out of boredom or FOMO will be a big-time loser. The point is, don't fight your emotions with more emotion. Let the cold, hard data kill that bad habit for you. And that brings us to the final step. A good day is not a day you make money. A good day is a day you follow your process perfectly. So, if no valid setup showed up all day and you took 0 trades, that was a perfect day. Your capital is safe. Your discipline held strong. You won. The market rewards patience because every impatient person out there essentially becomes your opponent. They're the ones providing you the liquidity when they panic. So you wait. You let them make the first impulsive move. You let them be wrong. Then, and only then, do you act. So let's bring this all together with one final, very pointed question for you. I want you to really think about this for a second. Who or what is actually making your trading decisions? Just think about the last month of trading. How many of your trades were totally planned out with the entry and exit criteria written down before the market even opened for the day? I'm not talking about trades you took on impulse or after you saw some big green candle. Just the ones that were pre-planned. Count those and then count all the others. That ratio? That number tells you everything you need to know about who's really in control of your trading account.